Veterans Committee meeting to order, please. Please all join me in the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benson.
Here.
Mrs. Labuda.
Here.
Mrs. Edwards. Ms. Vedder. Mr. Sorensen.
Do I have a quorum?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to dispense with the first public comment. We'll have public comment at the end of the meeting. I wish Pete Carmici was here. I want to apologize to him, and I want to apologize to the rest of you for not being at the Veterans Dinner, but I got an invitation by an Albany County legislator to go up to the VA hospital in Albany. He apparently had been going around visiting with some of the people who were in there, and two of them had spent time in the hospital with my father, and they remembered him, and he asked me to come up so I could speak to them. They wanted to see me. So again, I apologize for not being at the dinner, but that's why I wasn't there.
I think that's an excused absence.
Well, I just wanted everybody to know that it wasn't because I didn't feel like going. The only other thing I would like to say is, I remind you all that this Sunday is December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. It happens to be on a Sunday again this year as it was in 1941. I would just ask you all to take a moment that day to remember those who died and what the country had to go through for the next 4.5 to 5 years. And other than that, I am going to start with the commander's reports. I'm not sure who wants to go first. I'll let you guys fight it out.
I'll volunteer.
Okay, Al.
Collect my thoughts.
Okay, just had two thoughts that I'd like to share this afternoon with you. Quite a long time ago, almost sometime between 15 and 20 years ago, there was a situation in this country where members of Congress, House of Representatives and senators in the Congress, were veterans, and they felt that they were entitled upon their retirement to receive their retirement pay. At the same time, they were receiving disability compensation from the VA for their wounds or whatever they suffered during their active years of service. The administration said they could have one or the other, but they could not have both. We said that's completely, if it's not true, it doesn't make sense, it's not true. One thing has nothing to do with the other. What has retirement pay got to do with disability compensation? Nothing. The point is that they were entitled to both payments. So we've been fighting that issue, if you will, between 15 and 20 years. And the veterans in the Congress started that trend that long ago.
Al, before that, they were paying both?
No.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to be paid both, which they were entitled to. But we just received a notice, of course, that it's called concurrent receipt. Concurrent meaning both those categories, concurrent receipt. So took a long time, but the veterans prevailed, and we won. So that's some good news for the 22 million veterans in this country to hear. It takes 10 years for it to go through the cycle of all the payments. Unfortunately, there's always a little a problem around, but we got what we were entitled to, which was good. The other thing I just wanted to share with you was, since we prevailed there, we have one more battle to fight, and that battle, it seems to me, is the battle for not letting up on fighting for the passage of the flag amendment. All major veteran organizations are in favor of it. I want to remind everybody that 80% of the American public is in favor of passage of the flag amendment. All 50 states have had concurring resolutions in favor of the flag amendment. So if it is the will of the people, then that's what our representatives on the federal level should entertain, not their personal will, but the will of the people. We put them there, and they should give us what we request. What we're faced with right now, Mr. Chairman, is the fact that we have the senior senator from New York, Chuck Schumer, who sat here at this table some years ago and said his father told him to make sure that he votes in favor of the flag amendment, but he's not doing it. We reminded him to listen to his father, but that didn't happen. The junior senator, Kirsten Gillibrand, we thought we would have one shot with because we need one vote. We are one vote shy of the passage for the flag amendment. Kirsten Gillibrand could be that one vote. Petitions are useless. They get thrown away. It doesn't mean anything. I think two things, if I may. One, if you would be so kind to put this before the full legislature for a resolution asking that Sullivan County and our veteran organizations stand in favor of passage of the flag amendment and pushing that, and maybe with some phone calls from everybody in this room this week. Takes one phone call. It takes 2 minutes to make a call and go on record as saying, we demand, not request, we demand passage of the flag amendment, and we need it now. We don't need it 10 years from now. A lot of us won't be here 10 years from now, but we need it now. So that's my overview, my recommendation, and I hope it's taken in the spirit in which I'm presenting it.
Do you have a bill number on that?
I can get a bill number for you.
It would make it look a little more official if I put that in the resolution.
I will
If you
I
could,
will do that.
You get that to Annie
Yes.
for me?
And thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Thank you.
May I ask a question?
No, yes.
I think it sounds like a wonderful idea. I have a concern. Once it passes, something that bothers me very much is I see some of my neighbors, the flag that is hanging in their place is so tattered, so
Disrespectful.
awful. That's how I'm seeing it.
Mhm.
And I've approached the person, and other people have approached the person, and they refuse to do anything about it. With this passing, would something then occur to that neighbor?
You can't do, again, my viewpoint is you can't do anything on a private person's property. If it was a public place, a post office, whatever it may be, a town or a village hall, whatever, then no flag, no tattered or shredded, it could be retired properly with the ritual, but it's no question about it, it should be replaced. You can't leave a tattered flag flying. But on a private property, you can only request that they do it, or say to them, if you can't afford it, I would be honored to present you with a flag that you can fly. So how are they gonna turn down something free? There's nothing wrong with free.
Thank you.
That's my suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Any other commanders' reports? Nothing from you?
Well.
I'm surprised.
You know nobody wants me to talk.
Pete's not here,
I
say
got,
whatever you
I got
want.
plenty of things to say
I
now.
have a
but-
moment of silence
No,
here.
I just want you to everybody to know that we're gonna go forward in trying to purchase that building in Liberty, in the Village of Liberty, and for our post 109, and hopefully we can get it done. I've been advised that if we don't buy it, we're crazy, because, you know, it's assessed for $400,000, the property's assessed for $150,000. The reason the guy can't get rid of it is because it's $22,000 a year in taxes.
Which
And
building is that?
There's, it's right next to the post office right after Ferndale on Sullivan Street there, right
Oh,
next
right.
to Congressman Gibson's place. There's a welcoming center, and they want $40,000 for it. And I've been advised by too many people that we're crazy if we don't buy it, because we won't pay the taxes on it. And it's a great building. It's 60 brand new solar panels on the top. They put $60,000 into it, so just want you to know, hopefully we'll have our own home maybe in 6-7 months, something like that.
Any other veterans have anything they want to say at this point? Yes.
Just to inform everybody, we're, 073 is starting on Friday to make their annual round of the nursing homes with gifts and good cheer to all our veterans and lady veterans and spouses. We'll be doing all the major nursing homes in the county the next week.
Thank you.
You ought to come in.
I was kind of hoping John Lacy was here.
Can I ask a question? That's the other half of the visitor center that's empty, right?
Yes, that is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the other half, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're purchasing the whole building?
Yes.
Okay, and so they would then lease from
We,
you?
we would lease, they would
Got
lease
it.
it from
Got
us.
it. Thank you.
We hope to get another tenant up there.
It's a great
and-
building,
and,
great
uh,
location.
It's a really beautiful building, and everybody informed me we're crazy not to do it. It's hard to
I
get
think
the
it would be too,
old
yeah.
timers to go along with it, but I think we're gonna be able to do it. And,
How are you funding the building?
well, I have some offers.
Okay.
I have some offers from realtors that actually do that, and they would fund it for a minimal amount of, you know.
Monthly payments, you mean?
Well, yeah, with the payments. Actually, if we have the two rents, we're not gonna worry about the payments because we're talking maybe $30,000 a year in rentals, so we'll be able to pay that off real quick and, you know, hopefully. This is all, you know, still up in the air, but I had to go ahead from unanimously from my post, so.
So
But-
then you'd be moving out of here?
No,
This is
no,
American.
we don't have,
Okay.
we actually meet now at the CVI building. Alan Geary lets us use his cafeteria for our meetings, but it's just a once a month deal. We can't do anything else there, we can't have fundraisers, we can't have our memorabilia there, we have to keep our stuff all in different places, so. This would consolidate everything, maybe even give us a little chance to do some fundraisers, pancake breakfast and stuff like that, which we couldn't do before, you know, so.
Is the building handicap accessible?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, it's got an elevated chairlift that goes up, so it's,
Are we done, folks?
No, I'll make a quick one, Chief.
Thank you.
4947 finished up this year with a community breakfast. Was attended between 3 community breakfasts, between 150 and 200 people.
You guys do this every year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our-
Thank you.
Howie wants me to just mention, being that I'm not the commander of the coalition, but,
Someday when you grow up, you can.
but we also are
Put your
gonna be
BB gun
going.
away, boy.
We also are going to 4 senior citizens homes on the 20th and the 21st. I'm gonna give them some gifts and talk to the senior veterans there and maybe inform them about the van and all of that, because that's coming
We're
up.
gonna make an announcement.
Well, I know that, but I just wanna put that in there.
Can I don't know if you wanna do this now, I'd like to make a
This is
presentation.
waiting zone.
Actually, if you give me just a second, the only thing I was gonna say is John Lacy's Post is having a luncheon this Saturday.
Sunday.
Sunday?
It's
I
a
knew-
dinner. 2 o'clock at the old Bernie's.
Bernie's, yeah.
1 and 2. One.
Anybody
one
else
for
wanna
Saturday.
add to what I was gonna say?
Yes.
But you got the information, oh, Miss, you said Saturday and Sunday, I just wanted to make sure.
Sunday,
No, it's Sunday the 7th. That was the
Right,
day.
At 2 o'clock at Bernie's.
Cocktails, 3 for dinner.
Right.
not you stole
It was Pearl Harbor Day.
You didn't steal my thunder. I get yelled at for talking out of turn at meetings. I figured it was my turn to yell at everybody else.
Mr. Chairman.
Now, you can make your presentation.
Better off with that loaded too, Gene.
Don't shake your head, I hear it rattle over up here.
We had to smuggle it up.
Can I get the officers of the coalition up here? For those of you who aren't aware, we've been selling this tickets now for I don't know how many months. This is the rifle we've been selling. It's a commemorative Henry rifle, and it was drawn on November 11th, Veterans Day, and Gary Mott was fortunate enough to be the winner. I don't see Joe's not here, is he?
Joe's not here.
Joe Medina was working his tail off down in he bought this down in Worksboro. Founders Day, we were selling tickets down there. And Joe sold a $150 winner, and he sold the ticket for this, which Gary's here. And we've been hiding from him for the last 2 years. We had to change telephone numbers and addresses because he's been anxiously awaiting. We have John from Fernwood, who was gracious enough to make arrangements to get us a sweetheart deal on this thing. I don't wanna tell him we only paid $50.
Why do you keep pointing it at him if you're gonna present it?
Because I'm trying to restrain myself from pointing it at you.
Oh.
Just the things we bought.
You make a good
Like
point.
that.
Last time I hired somebody like you.
So at this time, I'd like to get the officers up here, and I'd like to take a picture because we made a nice chunk of change. The money, as you well know, has gone to the veterans band, and we'll give you a little description about that later. But if we can get some people up here, like
Al, go
officers.
ahead, Al.
I need the officer at large, Randy, Jack, John. Unfortunately, I'll make a short announcement. Pete Carmisi, our treasurer, he did not take off to the Bahamas. He has been ill for the last 2 weeks. Went to Castle Point, went to the clinic on Monday to get his blood tested. They called him back on Tuesday and they told him to come to Castle Point now, not the next day. And that's where he's at right now. He has been, I think, diagnosed, he had a blood count of 600 something. So he's, yeah.
Sugar count.
So he's doing well, but he will not be here today. So Alan,
Yeah.
pick on Al.
How long is he gonna be in Castle Point now?
Hopefully till maybe tomorrow, or tomorrow or Saturday. We're not, obviously, you gotta wait and see how they're, he's down to 200 and something now, so he's recovering well. But if I could get a picture, where's our? There he
It was peacetime.
Security is not.
He needs more than that.
Snuck it into the veteran service office and then
You
stuck it
could
upstairs.
tell he was at peacetime.
You're lucky I wasn't in the same outfit you were in.
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
Accidents happen now.
He's never had a drill sergeant slap him up the backside of the head when the handle works.
I would've kicked him out of the plane first just to make sure everything was
Landed
okay.
on your head after the first jump.
I know he wasn't in the first half.
No.
So, I wanna thank you.
Where'd he go?
John, see that gentleman right there, so you could transport this legally. Brian, thank you for your help. You know, make sure that everything's done
Al's
correctly,
following the
otherwise.
procedure. There is.
Oh, yeah, take this bag here, put this in a bag here, Brian, Brian will arrest you on the right lesson.
Oh, dear God.
Wrapped it up and stuck it in.
No problem.
All right.
Get that over with.
Are there any other commanders' reports or vice commanders, anybody who has anything going on in their posts? If not, I'm gonna turn it over to John Crotty, our director, for his report.
First off, just to expand on what Al Etkin discussed with concurrent receipt, it's complicated. It's supposed to be automatic between the VA and the Department of Defense. It probably won't be automatic. I suggest any veteran who feels they're in a situation where they're receiving retirement benefits and VA benefits, they come to our office. It's complicated. Enough said. Moving into another complicated issue is the Veterans Choice Program. Due to all the scandals that the VA got themselves into with delayed treatment appointments and a variety of other issues, they came out with a program called the Veterans Choice Program. And like many programs that have been coming out of the VA, first they made the announcement. Now they're writing up the rules and regulations to implement it. And as it stands right now, if you're over 40 miles, isn't it, in a straight line?
40 plus.
And you have to be by air miles, not by road miles.
If you're over a certain distance from the medical facility, if your delay of appointment is over 30 days plus, then a separate entity, not your primary care physician, the other entity's contact information is on that handout, you can then request to get private medical care paid for by the VA. But they're writing the rules as we go.
Can I get one of those,
No
please?
one can
Thank you.
just go to another caregiver and expect the VA to pick it up. It's gotta be pre-approved. And it has to be pre-approved by this other entity, not your primary care physician in the VA. So more complications. If you're in that situation by distance or time where you think you should have another source of receiving medical care, please call us and we'll help you make sure that you get the maximum benefit. VA electronics, let's see, next item is changes of representation. We're having a number of people who have filed claims with the VA or have a claim in process with the VA, and party or parties, either at the medical center or other locations, are signing these people up to permit another organization to represent them while their claim is in process. Please don't do it. Don't do it. If you don't like what we're doing, come and talk to us, and we'll try our best to fix the problem or find someone else that you'll have satisfaction with. But please don't let someone in a VA facility convince you that you should change your power of representation over to some other group. It can seriously jeopardize your claim and make for a lot of complications in your life.
Can you sort of explain what that means? I'm not really clear.
Anyone can file a claim with the VA. You can do it on plain paper or you can do it electronically. Like everything in life, there's an effective way to do something and a not so effective way. The most effective way is to let an organization that has some training and experience help you with your claim. You fill out a form called a 2122, which is authority to permit an organization's representatives to represent you to the VA. The VA recognizes about 60 organizations. One of the premier organizations is the American Legion, the VFW, Vietnam Veterans of America. They all have trained, competent people. There's a lot of other organizations that really don't have the level of training and competency. And these other organizations, I think because they don't fully appreciate the perils, are very happy to grab someone's authority to represent and hold it for themselves. And it creates a lot of problems because without the POA, our office can't talk to the VA about this person's claim.
So do you have like an approved list of?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me interrupt you for just a second. That door has to be open, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tell them to be quiet and public down.
I'm sorry, but those are the rules.
Okay, I was at the close, so I closed.
Yeah, that, I understand.
The third item is VA electronics claim submission. The VA is making a real push to get into the enlightened age of electronics and to suggest that people can and should sit at their keyboard and submit a compensation claim or a pension claim. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like so many things in life, the more you learn, the more complicated it is. And trying to submit a claim on your own without some help can turn into a nightmare. Plus, while the implication is that you can send everything you need through electronic means, not really. There's been some real problems where people are putting things into the computer and it never really comes fully out at the other end, or it's misdirected. The VA has a program in place where they're taking paper submissions and scanning them by a private contractor to put them into their computer system. And just recently they discovered 55,000 claims got lost in the shuffle, and then another 60,000 claims were submitted, and the scanning company did not appreciate that some of the VA forms that were submitted were two-sided, and the scanners only scanned one side. So these are just the examples that the VA is admitting that they're having problems with. We still use snail mail, we still use hard paper, and we still have copies of everything we send in. So please, let us help you. Promoting awareness of tax deductions. As I'm sure all of the folks here in this office, in this room are aware, in the beginning of the year, Governor Cuomo signed in a bill permitting school districts to sign on to participate in a tax exemption for veterans on school taxes to parallel the exemptions they can receive on the municipal taxes. To date, I believe only 2 school districts so far have successfully passed and signed on to this bill.
Eldred and,
John
Right,
Lacey
Tri Valley.
and the veterans have been going around to all the school districts, explaining the program and urging them to sign on to this. Just recently, we had a group of over 30 vets show up at Sullivan West. I thought we were well received. I hope it works. John Lacey did a very nice presentation, very effective. So all veterans who are interested in obtaining this exemption, they need to be active, they need to go to their school boards, and they need to ask the school boards to sign on to this legislation.
December 17th, when he's coming out, by the way.
So does this mean they have to do it every year?
No,
No.
no.
They just have to do it, but they
The school
won't.
boards have to sign on just as all the municipalities in the county have previously signed on to the regular municipal property tax exemption. And the veteran does not have to do any additional work with the assessor. If you're already listed with the assessor as a veteran or a disabled veteran, then they will automatically include the school tax exemption. Food pantry, we get a lot of phone calls, especially this time of the year with the economy such as it is, and we have a list of Federation for the Homeless. They have a twice-a-month food pantry just for veterans, over and above all the other good work they do for people in need in Sullivan County. And after much work of Howie and Cheryl, we have a list, we hope it's inclusive, of all the food pantries in the county. So hopefully, in time for the holidays, people will know what's available to them. And the Valentine for Vets program is coming up in February, so we hope we'll have the same really terrific turnout we had last year with the elementary schools. They sent us, I think, almost 1,500 cards last year. We really got a load of cards, and some of them were ingenious. We look forward to doing that. Veterans Day services around the county, by all reports, were very well attended. I know Al's program here was nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's good to see everyone remembering our veterans. And homeless veterans, we're working, our office, with representatives from the VA. We had a meeting here some weeks ago with people from the VA and a variety of caregivers in the area who are involved with the homeless. And hopefully after the holidays, we'll start kicking some more meetings together and get some more participants and see if we can't find some solutions. Homeless by nature are very hard to track down. We're frankly guessing as to how many true homeless vets we have. And frankly, the definitions of homeless seem to change from one bureaucracy to the next. So that makes things difficult. But the VA does have very robust programs for people who don't have their own pillow to sleep on. And if anyone knows anyone in distress, please contact our office and we'll try to tie these folks in with programs that can help them. And that's about it. Howie?
Kathy?
I have something. There was a vehicle that was donated to the coalition, I guess, and they're working, is that BOCES and they're working on the?
Well, BOCES
Tell
is
us. Give us an
working
update.
diligently. We've been playing Ring Around the Rosie with 3M, who is, we've been given indications that they're gonna help us wrap the vehicle. Mike's Tires from Liberty donated 4 brand-new tires. Kathy's got a little bit of a tidbit, very good news for us. So we're waiting basically for 3M to finally put the final touches on this thing. And we'll be able to start doing some kind of program shortly, hopefully. It's been rehabilitated, it's been, all the rust has been taken off, whatever had to be replaced sheet metal wise, which wasn't very little. But it accommodates, I think, 6 veterans, and it can also accommodate 3 wheelchair with a lift gate or chair lift, I should say. So we're biting at the bit, so to speak. There are just a few odds and ends to be done, and hopefully by the beginning of the new year, before they go into Christmas break, we'll be able to say that this thing could be. Danny informed me a week or so ago that we're going to be able to get a free registration. We're going to have to pay for the license.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a nominal fee, so we're not. That's, all systems looking are pretty much getting closer to going. So.
And now that we're talking about the budget, I asked Ed McAndrews at our DPW meeting next week if it's okay with this committee. I'd like to do a MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding with the coalition. I'll ask Tom Coy to look into it, and the DPW will service that van. We'll do the oil changes, and we'll put a small amount of money in the budget under the DPW, and we'll service the van for the veterans, if that's okay with this committee. I'd like to bring that forward to the.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
And also, we had talked about the driver at one point. It was, I don't know if it was this van or a previous van. You were going to need volunteer drivers,
Yes.
Mhm.
and you still need them?
Oh, yeah. We haven't put the word out yet, because we've had people come to us, but until we know the things on the road, I don't want to say,
Yeah, yeah.
be ready
Right.
to keep them in the waiting list or in the
Right.
hallway there, so if you have some people
actually
come
have
see
an
me,
EMS
we'll
that's
put them on
gonna
the
watch
list.
to be the
Should
driver,
they-
so that's
It
plus
doesn't
two.
require a CDL license. this
Okay.
van
Oh, they
either.
are? Oh, good.
So-
Okay.
No, it's gonna be a regular street van.
And you looked
Right.
into the insurance end of that,
Yes.
right?
We've got 2 bids for insurances, and it's relatively, reasonable. We can deal with it, let's put it that way.
Okay.
For senior veterans, is it a possibility to hook up with RSVP?
The problem with RSVP is, therein lies the problem, it's seniors. We have veterans that are less than 65. They won't transport anybody unless they're over 65, and their driver has to be 60 or over to drive for RSVP. So that's been
That's
not a
why-
problem at all, it's a problem, but it will impact us because we have veterans ranging from 20s up to, so. But we're
At least
hoping
it's
that.
moving forward.
And I don't know, we're gonna try to make this, one of the areas which we're entertaining and we're hoping to do is, we have a number of veterans, we're going to visit them in the American Legion Post 73. We're going out to the nursing homes, and I think there's approximately 70, 80 veterans in these nursing homes. Some of them have access to family, some of them don't. We're hoping to once a month, twice a month, whatever, go to each facility and maybe be able to take them out, take them to Walmart, let them do a little shopping, take them, maybe even go to a diner or something. I think they'd be happy just going for a ride in the country, just to get out of the building.
Yeah.
So, that's gonna be part of the program, and it also is for the ones that fall between the cracks that our Veteran Service Agency van can't accommodate. So,
Doctor's appointment, dental appointments, stuff like that,
it's coming to fruition, and there's just a few odds and ends, and hopefully and then the vehicle's in very good shape. It's very, it doesn't have a lot of miles for its type.
Kids did a great job.
So the kids did a decent job cleaning it up, and we got, like I said, we have brand new tires coming on, and very nice, that's close to 1,000 right there, that's a significant savings by, you know. So, we're finally, getting there. And for the MOU, I can only say thank you on behalf of the coalition, because, that was gonna probably be one of our greatest expenses is, the gas and oil. So that, knowing that's taken care of is, it's a great weight off our shoulders.
Kathy, would that include housing in there too?
I'll ask, Ed,
While we're here, we can
yeah,
pay
we
for
can-
it.
Scully's also said that they would tow that van from anywhere if it broke down free of charge.
Tow company that'll tow it in case it goes down.
Mike Scully.
What we're going to do, one little tidbit that I forgot to tell you is I had a good, received a good idea from Chrissy Schiff. We were talking about it, you know that favorite card that Dan put out? Oh, I don't want to say anything good while she's here. But that favorite card, it was my idea, but Chrissy and I were talking about it. That favorite card that we put out by the county from the, who puts it up there?
Let's spit it out.
It's not the county.
Let me get closer so I can spit it out.
Folks, we have a couple more meetings, let's move it along, please.
What's the organization that puts the Chamber of Commerce, thank you. Thanks for your help, Chris. But we're gonna use that list of names and maybe solicit advertisement off of that list. Those are local businesses that are kind enough to give the veterans a discount. And maybe they'll be willing to advertise on it, and that'll offset some of the expenses that we anticipate incurring. So, that's it in a nutshell. Gene, Mr. Chairman, I'm
Thank you.
through
Wow. Thank you.
for the moment.
If there's no more questions from the table, I'll open it up to public comment.
I just do want to say how much,
That's not a question, that's a
no,
statement.
It's a statement, sorry.
That's okay.
The
Please, you wanna read today, isn't he?
Veterans Memorial Service was so powerful, the speaker was incredible. A lot of people came to me and said, you know, it was one of the best ones they've been to. And Al, you're an MC of the MCs, and I just wanted to, you know, put it out there how much we appreciated
Thank
it,
you
all
very
the
much.
generations, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts.
Thank you.
It was really great.
I'll let him know.
Dan?
If I may, just two quick updates for you. One is with respect to the favor card, and we've been working, in fact, Chrissy Schiff and Congressman Gibson's office have been working quite closely with ShopRite. We're trying to add them on as to a participating merchant. So far, one of the obstacles has been the card that we issue doesn't have one of those barcodes, so it's not able to register at the cash register, but we're looking at ways to get around that, and now that she's here, I don't have to fax the stuff, I can give you the information down below. But ShopRite's been very receptive to it, and they're looking to do like a beta site, and we're gonna do it on a trial basis and get that underway. And I just wanna I see Jack there too. I have people coming in, most recently a Greenhouse, saying, oh, Jack says I can get a merchant participation card, and we'd like to participate in it. So please, if you see a shop owner or whoever is not participating, please make mention of it to them. We'd be happy to get them that information, and the more we have on there, the better.
Where is the list?
The
We
list
give it out at
evolves.
Veterans
It's not a
Service.
list per se, it's on the website, because people can withdraw at any point, so we don't keep generating a printed out list or whatnot. The second point I'd like to bring up, if I may, and this is important, and this is something that county clerks have worked quite hard on all year long. And it was finally signed into legislation the other day by the governor, and that is any veteran who so desires to have veterans designation on their driver's license can now do so without a charge. There's no longer going to be a fee. And that will become effective this Monday, the 8th. So please, would you get out and share that word?
Dan, is this something that can be done before the replacement date of the license?
Yes.
Okay.
So you could, even though you renewed it 6 months ago, you could resubmit for the one that says
No
veteran?
fee, correct.
And no
What we're
extra.
working on right now is there are those who had paid the $12.50 or whatever it was. We're trying to see if we can get that refunded to those individuals. I don't have an answer to that yet.
Chris?
I'm sorry I'm late. I just wanted to introduce Joe Levy. He's gonna be the Congressman's liaison for the Veteran Services. December 15th, he will be hired with the Wounded Warrior Program. They will be the ones that actually will be placing him in the office. So if anybody has any veterans questions, Joe will be the guy.
Is he gonna be in the Liberty office?
Yes.
Okay, Joe. Joe Levy.
Will you be
Doc.
coming to these meetings?
Yes.
Joe, Duck.
He's short enough, he's honest.
Is there any more public comment? If not, I'll recognize Al once again.
Okay, I'm a member of the public.
Not when you're sitting at the table. It's okay.
Okay. No, I just wanted to offer this. This past Tuesday was a terribly bitter, cold, raw day, as we all know. But I wanted to tell you how honored I felt to be asked to do the chaplaincy portion of a committal service for one of our distinguished veterans here in Sullivan County. He was a past post commander, twice a past county commander, and a past district commander for the VFW. I've known him many, many years. His name was Carl Bates. As a matter of fact, his wife Lorraine is achieved, but not doing very well. But she also rose through the ranks as a past auxiliary president, county president, and district president. They all shared the same levels as far as the Veterans of Foreign Wars was concerned. And Carl passed away last year, very, very devoted to the county. They held the committal service, the burials at the Sullivan County Veterans Cemetery. And I felt so good being there, not just to do the chaplaincy service, but I have to say that I must commend Howie and as president of the Sullivan County Veterans Coalition, because as differs from this, it's a committee of veterans helping veterans. That's why we're in focus. And the fellows came out. There were four veterans in this room right now that were there that day as part of the honor guard. Carl was a Navy veteran, and they had two Navy men there to present the flag. There was a firing squad. Everything was done very nicely, and it was very proper. It was just temperatures were bitterly cold, and you could hardly stand there, but we stood there because that's what we do. And I just thought it was an honor to be there and see the color guard and all the people that came out to honor a fellow veteran and a buddy. Also, just as a side comment, he was the eldest senior past district commander of the VFW on the roll that we've held. And our good feeling has always been he was from Sullivan County. So we held that distinction, 10 counties in District 2, 10 counties, and that was quite a nice thing. But thank you guys for what you do, and that's what we do, and compliments to you. You did your good deed that day. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If there's nothing further, Butch?
I'd like to bring the meeting up to speed on what our chapter has done here this fall. First, we took 6 wounded veterans to Wild West Preserve up in Edmonston, northwest of Binghamton. They were all successful on fallow deer hunts, as Alan can add to that. He was one of the recipients.
Yeah, we haven't forgiven you for bringing them back.
We also sent an individual into Equinox, Pennsylvania for a fair chase whitetail archery hunt. He was unsuccessful over there, but did have a good experience. We took a boy and a girl, both 13 years old, to Wild West, originally to shoot a red stag. It didn't materialize that way, but they were very successful. I had the pleasure of being there that weekend with them. It was a grand experience. We're working on articles and stuff, you know, it'll be a publication here soon. But also, we gave out nearly a ton of frozen turkey on the 14th of November. And looking at that list, some of our turkeys went to 8 of those people on that list. So
and the Veterans Call pantry as well.
Thank you, Butch.
Thank you.
If there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn,
Cora Kathy.
and Annie says it all. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Just remember, Sunday, December 7th.